Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's another day, another Ezra Miller drama. Apparently, another grooming allegation against Ezra Miller. Another 12-year-old granted an order of protection against they, them, him. We don't know where Ezra Miller is. Ezra Miller has apparently deleted their Instagram account, his Instagram account. Sorry, you're a fucking groomer. I don't care. And this is really serious. This is like, what is it going to take for Warner Brothers to do something? I mean, there are allegations against Johnny Depp. He gets fired. Allegations against other people. They get fired.
Yeah, Gina Carano fired.
Gina Carano fired. Disney fires them.
That's Disney. The Warner, for whatever reason.
Warner, we'll
fire Depp, but we won't do anything about this or heard.
Yeah, and even this, I would say Ezra Miller. There's a much stronger case for him to be fired. You know, we're talking grooming. We're talking multiple allegations.
Allegations, though.
Multiple allegations of grooming. He's gone missing with a teenager.
Right, but the allegations were enough to get Depp fired. Yeah.
This is. I mean, you want to talk about bad optics, and the fact that Warner Brothers is not saying anything, and I get that they have a shit ton of money sunk into this Flash movie. If something, and God forbid it happens, but if something really terrible happens to Miller or this girl that's out there with Miller or some other kid or whatever.
Worse than him just going around slapping people and hurting
people.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a documented... months, years of documented bizarre, violent behavior, and now here we go again. Another grooming allegation. We'll talk about those Instagram posts again, the ones that got deleted. They sound ominous. They sound to me like potentially suicidal or threatening. He might have thought it as a joke, but we know the guy's unhinged. We saw the body cam footage when they were trying to arrest Miller, and this person is living in a completely different reality, and the problem with that is they've got nothing to lose. If they think they have nothing to lose, and they think, well, if I just do something crazy, I'm going to go to another universe.
Yeah.
Take a bunch of people with me. What the hell? Like, what the hell? And how long has this been going on that nobody noticed? I mean, nobody on any of these productions noticed, hey, Ezra Miller's batshit crazy. Maybe Ezra Miller needs some serious help. Maybe we shouldn't hire Ezra until Ezra has therapy, years of therapy.
Yeah.
What the hell? So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe. More pop culture news, views, rants, guys. Over 270,000 subs. Thank you for the support. We've been covering the Ezra Miller stuff, and it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. This just came out this morning. 12-year-old granted order of protection against Ezra Miller. Seems like Ezra Miller likes them at age 12.
Yeah.
This is not normal. We didn't think it was normal with is it Takata Iron Eyes. It started at 12 years old.
Right. And then the other person that had come out and said that they were with him and pictures of them with him and all that, and they weren't very old.
They were like 19 or something.
Yeah, that when they talked about it, but this had happened in the past.
So
I don't know how old they were.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of weird, and yeah, I know people are gonna make like Michael Jackson now. Like, Michael Jackson doesn't turn them into trans communists, okay?
Yeah.
And doesn't disappear with children.
Yeah,
or teenagers. Daily Beast spoke with an alleged victim, a 12-year-old non-binary child, their mother, their neighbor, all who described the night the Flash star allegedly menaced them.
Okay.
On Wednesday, a mother and her 12-year-old child traveled to their local courthouse in Greenfield, Massachusetts, and were granted a temporary harassment prevention order against Ezra Miller after alleging the actor menaced their family one evening in their downstairs neighbor's home and acted inappropriately toward the non-binary youngster. The news comes on the heels of a number of other disturbing allegations that have surfaced against the 29-year-old, best known for their turn as the Flash in Justice League. Miller is also non-binary, but predominantly women. It's girls. Last week, parents of 18-year-old environmentalist activist Takata Iron Eyes requested that a court issue a protective order against Miller, stating in court documents the actor met Takata 6 years ago when they were 12 and Miller was 23. And Miller uses violence, intimidation, threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs to hold sway over adolescents. And we have seen proof of a lot of this stuff in other incidents. Again, what the fuck is it going to take?
Well, I mean, when you have even the people that would normally side, would be the ones telling you, well, you make sure you use the proper pronouns and stuff, are like, Ezra Miller needs to be found. They are a public menace.
Okay.
And they're evading responsibility and everything else.
Here's the problem for the pronoun community. The problem with Ezra Miller is that I believe Ezra Miller has gotten a hell of a pass because of that status, and it's going to reflect badly on everybody who identifies that way.
Yeah, exactly. And the people that legitimately identify that way, that aren't out there doing shitty things like this, people are going to have like a bias against them, even subconsciously, because they're going to be like, oh. And it's actually harming the people you claim to be protecting by, letting this go.
Oh, you're non-binary. Oh, like Ezra Miller. We know how that ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, according to Takata's parents, that the reason Takata is non-binary transgender, which to me is just, okay, wait, you're non-binary, but you're transgender. So you identify as a boy, but you're non-binary.
Look, this is coming from a straight white guy. And no offense intended, but I have given up on trying to understand how the hell this stuff works. Okay,
because you don't understand every nuance. You're a terrible person that just hates people.
I don't.
Just like, you tell me what you want, and I'll try to be as accommodating as possible within reason. They said that according to the parents, that's one of the reasons why Takata decided to make the changes. Because you saw pictures of Takata before, definitely very female, long hair, and now very feminine, now transgender, non-binary,
and a communist. It's Comrade Ezra. So not only is Ezra Miller going out there and doing this shit, reflecting poorly on the pronoun community, but it's also reflecting poorly on socialists.
Well, so he called himself, is he like a Comrade Ezra because that's why he was at people's houses when he was in Florida, when them could choose to live wherever because they're rich?
I don't know. There's some fuckery going on here, and I'm sure it's literal too, because that makes no other there's no other reason for Ezra Miller, and they're saying Miller is making inappropriate actions toward these kids, but yeah, it's weird.
Here's the protection order. Daily Beast got a copy of the protection order signed by a judge, and they spoke to different witnesses, the mother, the 12-year-old accuser, and the neighbor who was present. So the neighbor's not a family member. The official complaint made by the child's mother was not available. It could be because of the age. Yeah. They also reviewed contemporaneous text messages sent by the mother and a neighbor, as well as photographs that corroborated parts of their accounts that deny the question. But they were withholding names for privacy. Yeah. So on February 2nd, they said that Miller was present at a downstairs neighbor's home in Greenfield, which is about 40 miles from the actor's home in Vermont. And the neighbor's in a band with somebody who's a friend of Miller's. Okay. Yeah. So Miller was wearing a bulletproof vest. I had no idea until later they were armed.
Okay, so that has come up before, and this is where it gets really tricky too, because
they are pro-gun.
Yeah, which kind of is the opposite of
But let's take a moment. You do know what Twitter doesn't know, that there's most of it's gray areas. It's not all black and white. There are a lot of people who aren't straight white and male who are Republican. There are a lot of people that are Democrats who think gun ownership is okay. It's amazing how that works,
So the problem I'm having, though, is we have somebody who is legitimately mentally unbalanced and prone to bouts of violence.
Having
a bunch of guns and collecting guns.
But that's okay.
That's okay. I mean,
we're gonna nitpick people who clear every check ever. But anyway.
Yeah.
So then the tensions began brewing when the mother says she mentioned doing some traveling recently with her tribe of people, leading Miller to snap at her to accuse her of cultural appropriation. Oh my God, this sounds so like it.
That's so Ezra.
Yeah.
That's so Ezra.
Then a conversation about board games allegedly went sideways after Miller claimed that the board game Parcheesi had Rastafarian roots. The visiting neighbor, who was half black, questioned Miller as to which sect of the movement it originated from. At this point, Ezra exploded and started screaming directly in my face, the neighbor tells him. They say, "You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. What did you say to me? What did you say to me?" I was very caught off guard. The visiting neighbor continues. Then they opened up their jacket, and they had like a big Sherpa jacket, and they opened up one side of their jacket. You could see a gun. And they said talking like that could get you into a really serious situation.
Over over cultural appropriation and fucking Parcheesi?
No, because he thought someone. No, he got set him off the most was the person who was actually a black person questioned the Parcheesi comment.
Wouldn't
that be cultural appropriation on Miller's part?
Yeah.
Wasn't he making assumptions?
How dare you?
Sorry, wasn't they making assumptions? And when the person
when
the person actually identified that way, questioned it, then Miller lost their shit. Oh my God.
Well, no, at this point, I am serious. Like, let's refer to Miller in the plural, because Miller, I think, has like split personalities and all kinds of weird.
I don't know.
There's a lot, flips on a dime. It's
okay. Now the visiting neighbor, the mother and her child. Miller focused attention on the then 11-year-old, saying, "I've talked extensively with your child, and they have a lot of power to them. At one point, you're going to realize that you don't have any control over them anymore. They're an elevated being, and they would be lucky to have someone like me guide them." Right, thank God Ezra Miller is here to take all your children because they're elevated beings, and only someone as lofty as Ezra Miller can lead them to whatever insanity that...
Okay, this is fucking serious. I mean, this is like, look, I'm not even... this is fucking serious. I mean, all those allegations about him being like a cult leader and shit, it sounds like Miller's going out, grooming children to be in a freaking woke cult, some shit. If this guy
they're the god.
Yeah. Miller obviously has delusions of grandeur. This is the Daily Beast. The Daily Beast is very far left, and they're like, Ezra Miller needs to be stopped.
Right.
No matter the cost.
Well, wait, so the mother who dresses goth, they said to the mother dresses goth, they were a witch and a vampire, and repeatedly yelled at her, "Do you want to drink my blood? Do you?"
I think there are probably a lot of parents out there that, given the chance, given the way things are going, they would drink his blood.
Ew.
Just to put a stop to this shit.
Then Miller came back to the child and allegedly began pestering them with compliments, at one point moving their chair closer to them uncomfortably, hugging them and touching their hips, requesting that they add the actor on Instagram, and telling the child who expressed their interest in horses that they would acquire several horses and the child could help them care for the herd on the farm. They automatically were just weirdly drawn to me and kept talking about how they love my outfit, love my style, and kept going on and on about how it was great, the child remembers. It was really uncomfortable. I was really nervous. I was scared to be around them after he yelled at my mother. She started crying.
Don't have to respect his pronouns because
I know, but
he's a creep.
They said that they think that Miller's under the influence because dilated pupils and erratic behavior. And Miller apologized for the outburst before returning home on June 4th. Wait, returning home on June 4th? Dressed as a cowboy.
Dressed as a cowboy. Yes.
And they said since the news about Dakota broke, they have not seen or heard from them since. So that's why the parents went and got a restraining order or whatever, because they're worried that Dakota's missing and is he going to come for their child.
For Miller could not be reached for comment. So let's talk about that, because he put some creepy ass shit on Instagram. All right. And if I were looking at this objectively, if I were like a detective,
which is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and if I were a detective, let's just say I were a detective and I were looking at these Instagram posts and this person went missing with a teenager that he'd been grooming since 12 years old, I would assume the worst. Because some of those Instagram posts sounded very ominous.
Well, after they came and apologized and then said bye, they haven't seen him since, for like a couple weeks almost, and they went and filed an order of protection because of it.
Yeah, you can't touch me. I'm in another universe. So was Heaven's Gate. They thought they were going to
this is what this reminds me of.
Message from another dimension.
Well, they're elevated beings that need him to guide them. I'm sorry, them to guide them.
Okay, but a lot of these psychos think that the way to pass into another dimension is to pass on. Drink the Kool-Aid.
A lot of these psychos also think that, I'm the god of the group, so I can just, screw children.
Yeah. I mean, this is just fucking insane. This is insane on any level, and it's even more insane that, again, not to drag Johnny Depp into it, but the fact that Warner Brothers had no problem firing an actor over allegations, but they won't do jack shit about Ezra Miller, and this is like the 15th fucking weird fucking thing this guy's done.
Well, not even just that. When this stuff was going on, it was going on heavily with the Hawaii incident. I know not just us, several other people were like, somebody needs to get Ezra Miller help before Ezra Miller hurts themselves or somebody else. This is an ongoing issue. Somebody needs to do something. Warner, his agent, whatever needs to do something.
The police, the
Need
FBI,
to do something.
somebody.
We were all saying it. A bunch of us were saying it, and no one did anything. And now Ezra and this other child, well, now it's adult, are missing.
If something happens to Takata Iron Eyes, it is on Miller's agent. It's on Warner Brothers. It's on all the people who gave Ezra Miller a pass.
That could have done something to stop it and did nothing.
Because they were afraid to say anything to Ezra Miller, who's clearly batshit crazy. They were afraid to say anything because they don't want the Twitter pronoun brigade to come down on them. So somebody wants them fucking dead, it's on your head.
And here's the thing, anytime you try to address Miller, he's like, oh, I'm trans, you can't touch me, I'm, you're not allowed, and you can't do anything because I'm trans. Or non-binary, or where the hell he was that day, because it depends on what day it was.
We saw the interaction with the police. Okay, this is a guy who's going around, again, I'm not saying anything against gun ownership, but I don't want crazy people with guns, and Ezra Miller is clearly crazy, clearly has weapons, and has no problem.
Clearly should not have passed checks.
No, and has no problem flashing those weapons to people over a fucking game of Parcheesi. Somebody's going to wind up fucking dead over this. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you somebody's going to get hurt or killed or something. And it is on the heads of all the people who let this weird shit slide. Did nothing. Usually we're against cancel culture. This isn't cancel culture. This person is legitimately dangerous. Legitimately dangerous. This isn't
needing help.
This isn't a joke. This isn't a stupid joke. This isn't, I dug up something from your Twitter, 12 years ago. Oh my God, you voted for somebody we didn't like. This person is legitimately dangerous, is grooming children, is run off with a teenager, nobody can find them, and is making very cryptic posts on Instagram.
And then deleted
them. That sounds like something could have gone south. Like, you can't touch me, I'm someplace else. Like,
hopefully it didn't.
Hopefully it didn't. But what is it gonna take? This is a person who's on camera choking a woman. A person who has had multiple altercations for being violent and unhinged.
One of them got a chair thrown at her head and got hit in the head with a chair.
What is it going to take? Somebody's going to wind up dead? Is that what's going to take? Like, we're not going to lose money?
We don't want to piss off Twitter.
We don't want to piss off Twitter. You know what? Twitter's against him now, too. Lots of people on Twitter are like, what the actual fuck is going on here? This is absolutely insane. And again, this is coming from the Daily Beast.
Now we got children involved. I mean, the one girl's 18 now, but the other child, they had their parents and the child themselves were so concerned. They went and, it's not easy just to get an order of protection against somebody either. You have to have actual evidence. They're not just going to give you an order of protection, especially against a celebrity or a known person. Because they're going to be really careful about that, because if it got out and it was untrue, then more people would be in trouble. They're not just going to hand that out. Yeah.
This is...
Sorry, my bracelet's jingling.
This is...
Turtle Day.
This is...
And they're sea turtles. Sorry.
This is inexcusable. And again, I am not for cancel culture, but this motherfucker needed to be stopped.
It's not about canceling. It's about making sure that they are put in help before somebody is harmed.
At this point, I'm just like, this person is dangerous. They need to get taken off the streets. They sure as hell don't need to be in any movies. They need serious psychotherapy. I think they need to go to all the victims and talk to them,
and
too.
I'm sure there's more.
We're talking two people.
It was an eyesight incident before, but now there's another one.
Well, it's Mia Solange, who was on TikTok, was like 19 hanging out with Ezra.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, hanging out with Ezra in Hawaii. So at what age did Ezra start grooming this person? And how many others?
And the female fan in Iceland, was she attacked because...
Who the hell knows? And the thing is you can't tell me Warner Brothers doesn't know about this. You can't tell me Miller's agent doesn't know about this.
Mm-hmm. And other people that are close enough to do something about it don't know about it.
This is the shit that's leaked out. What has been hidden? I guarantee you start pulling at this thread, there's going to be a shit ton.
That's why they're so quiet. Maybe they've been pushing under the rug all this time and covering for Ezra, for other things. And if they start coming out now, it's going to expose that.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I'm just saying that's just a possibility.
You want to talk about Me Too and all this shit, and there are people that have gotten canceled for much, much less. And in some cases, in the case of Harvey Weinstein, came out that there was a bunch of shit that was going on. We have more than enough evidence to fucking
at least look into it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is This is inexcusable on Warner Brothers' part. I'm sorry. I can't. It's like you're still gonna bring this fucking movie out. You know, it's like, oh my god, just take the L. Take the L, because especially, how bad is it gonna look if something, God forbid, truly terrible happens involving Ezra Miller within the next couple of weeks or couple of months, and you're still like, well, we didn't want to lose money on The Flash, so.
And we don't want to cancel because, you know, they, them.
Yeah.
I'm like, if that's all it takes from now on, I'm going to start saying I'm they, them, so that no one can say anything to me, and many people send me death threats or trying to threaten the they, them. Because apparently that's the shield of power.
That's the problem, and that's why it's gonna bite that community so hard.
It's gonna negatively impact those who legitimately identify that way.
Because everybody now is gonna look at this and be like, oh yeah, Ezra Miller was, you know, they, them, and it was fucking batshit, and so look what happened to those kids.
People are acting just kind of biases against them.
I mean, as if it wasn't hard enough, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, so we're wrapping this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.